Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, and of course, leave your comment. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. I'm your host, Barry Welsh, and we are a week removed from what happened on January 6th, last Wednesday, at the nation's capital. And Antifa was to blame. Antifa caused this. Antifa, dressed as Trump supporters, were the ones violating the United States Capitol building when it was overran, when it was occupied, and when there was a hunt going on for our nation's representatives. It was Antifa. That's what the Trump people said. It's proven not to be true. I've tried to get somebody from Antifa to talk for a long time on this show, since the summer. And I haven't been able to as of yet, but I was sent this video that we're going to be seeing that gives an explanation, if you will, of what Antifa represents. And it's important as we head into this weekend to have as much understanding of as many players as we can. Antifa was not involved on the 6th of January. The FBI and other alphabet organizations have made that very clear. But will they be involved on the 16th or 17th? That's yet to be seen. I'm hoping to have someone come on and talk about what Antifa may be doing this coming weekend. But as for now, I've got a couple of videos. One is Antifa based, as I've alluded to, and the second one is from Texas, and it shows the military activation that's taking place, at least in some parts of our country. So let's go to the video.
No matter where you are, we have to cover this, even though it may be the most obvious thing on the planet to communists, to anarchists, to libertarian socialists. There's an old saying on the left wing that you never interfere with your enemy while they are destroying themselves. You never give them an excuse. All right? And this is one of those examples. There was no way in hell we were going to become the story on that day at the DC Capitol. You understand what I'm saying? So check this out. I'm going to read to you this. This is in the Hill, just a little bit of it. And I'm going to explain why, where and how I have actually participated in anti-fascist actions. So check this out. FBI. No evidence anti-fascists involved in Capitol riot. This is by Chris Mills Rodrigo. Like I said, in the Hill. This was actually released yesterday. No evidence has been found that members of the left-wing anti-fascist movement were involved in this week's storming of the Capitol building, the FBI said Friday, contradicting a narrative pushed by some Trump regime allies. I added the regime part. We have no indication of that at this time, Washington Field Office Assistant Director Stephen Antuano said during a briefing when asked about any potential involvements of anti-fascists. The term is used to refer to the loosely connected network of far left activists who say they are fighting against what they perceive as fascism. Fair enough. That's fair enough. The very last part, what they perceive as fascism, because sometimes that's not exactly what's going on. I get it. The vast majority of the time, it is. It's usually pretty obvious. Now, just to be clear, anti-fascism is an ideology. Being an anti-fascist is something that comes from an amalgamation of ideologies. Understand what I'm saying? We'll get to that in a second. Acting U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Michael Sherwin, separately said Thursday that investigators had not seen evidence of anti-fascist presence. They keep using the term Antifa, and I'm not going to use that. I'm going to try not to use that anymore. I might do it in titles because it will catch the algorithm, but I'm going to try to move away from that a little bit. Several figures on the right have attempted to pin fault for the mob that broke into the Capitol on Wednesday on anti-fascists. Right-wing Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida on Wednesday claimed that left-wing agitators had disguised themselves as Trump supporters, citing the Washington Times story with false claims that was later retracted. Not Washington Post, Washington Times. Nothing the Washington Post is that great. Right-wing Representative Paul Gosar also suggested on Twitter, and I'm adding that right-wing part. They're not conservatives. They're not libertarians. So they're not libertarian capitalists. Obviously, they're not libertarian socialists. They are right-wingers. Make no doubt about it. They're anti-democratic. Also suggested on Twitter that the riot, this is Paul Gosar, had all the hallmarks of anti-fascist provocation, while fake news Fox host Laura Ingraham gave air to the baseless conspiracy on television. I didn't see that. I did not caught that. I wonder what day that was. That had to have been yesterday, I imagine. Blaming anti-fascists for apparent instances of right-wing violence and claiming such members are creating false flags, which is a thing. False flag attacks are a thing, and it does happen to the right wing too. There's no getting around. Usually, to be fair to as we can be as accurate as we can, usually false flags against the right wing are done by other right wingers. Do you understand what I'm saying? So just check it out around the world when it comes to sectarianism, sectionalism, all right, ethnocentrism. Usually, it's a right winger doing it to another right winger. Not conservatives, and I want to be very clear, not libertarian capitalists. And while they may be sympathizers, which is never acceptable, there is a vast gap between the actions and the words of these people. You understand? The lifestyles of these people, the conspiracy theories they entertain, the things they are willing to do. Oh, jeez. Now, it has become popular, I'll read that out. Blaming anti-fascists for apparent instances of right-wing violence and claiming such members are creating false flags, which, like we said, does happen, has become a popular deflection for some conservative allies of the president. Right-wing allies. Right-wing, if you want, if you will. Among those who have been identified from the Capitol riots are white nationalists and QAnon shaman. QAnon shaman, oh my God. So what is he, a pedophile? Jason Tankersley and Nick Oakes, a founder of the Hawaii chapter for the far-right group Proud Boys, among others. It's funny, you know, I always try to explain this to white supremacists or anyone who's adjacent to them. When it gets down to it, when you're in that room and everyone else is gone, the discussion becomes, who's not white enough? Who's not male enough? Masculine enough, manly enough? It comes down to who's not sectional enough, not sexual, sectional. All right, who's not more down for the cause, who's not more sectarian. That's what happens, make no doubt about it. It is a one-way trip to nowhere. Now, before I let you go, I wanted to break down real quick some of the instances where I engage in anti-fascist action. So check this out. Anti-fascism, what it really is, like I said, is an amalgamation of ideology. So you've got anti-classism, you have anti-imperialism, anti-racism, anti-male chauvinism generally, but it should be anti-sexism. And I understand male chauvinism from men is usually the main problem. That's one of the binds around all the pillars of imperialism and fascism. It's usually some sort of male chauvinism. So you oppose that, okay? So you have anti-sexist actions, anti-sectarianism, anti-racism, all right? Now, some of the things I have done is gone out there for for environmental protests, environmentalism, anti-classism, protests for adjunct professors, because we treat them like trash. We don't pay them. They don't have a union. They don't have a living wage. Sometimes they have no benefits. So those would be anti-classist actions. No war with Iran. No war with Venezuela protests. Okay? Those would be anti-imperialist actions. You don't have to go dressed up and wear a mask and be in a black hoodie and black this, black. Nonsense. Go like this. Go like that. Dress how you normally dress. I don't normally dress like this. But go how you normally dress. That's what an anti-imperialist action is. That's what an anti-classist action is. That's what an environmentalist action is when it comes to protecting the land, protecting the water. Anti-racist actions, police brutality. We didn't just have George Floyd protests here in State College. We've been doing protests for a fellow here named Osazi who got killed by the police. In matter of fact, they just released his the 3 police officers who were guilty for his death. And you know what? We are going to freaking seek justice. We are going to seek justice. We are going to cover this on here, and I'm going to need you guys to boost that. So think about it, guys. Just those 3 right there. You had anti-classist actions that I've been to. No fighting anyone. Nothing like that. We're fighting the power. It's rage against the machine. We're not going around beating anybody up, fighting Proud Boys, nothing like that. The anti-imperialist actions, the anti-racist actions, and of course, anti-sectarianism. Rallies after, you guys will remember this, when the right-wingers attacked the synagogues. When they were attacking the synagogues, they actually did one. They attacked one out in California. Both were huge attacks, but they also did a really, really, really deadly attack in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh. Okay. After that, we had actions. Do you understand? That would be anti-sectarian actions. All right. To rally around our Jewish brothers and sisters. If something were to happen to our Muslim brothers and sisters around here, we would do the same thing. Our Buddhist, Hindu brothers and sisters, we would do the same thing. Our Catholic brothers and sisters, we would do the same thing, because usually, almost always, it's some wasp. That's usually what it is. It's a wasp. White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. That's what people mean when they say that. It's usually a wasp who does this sort of attack almost every single time. And when it's deadly, as a matter of fact, every single time for the past 4 years. For the past 4 years, 100% of the deaths from terrorism in the United States have been from a form of right-wing terrorism, i.e. sectarianism, okay, sectionalism, you understand? Racism, all right, militarism, nationalism, male chauvinism, 100%. You add them bitches up, makes up 100%. Guys, I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what's up.
Gun on that some bitch.
Look at that.
That damn gun up there on that.
Holy shit.
How many more's coming?
Oh my god, there's more. At the truck stop. Holy shit.
They're fully armed.
Oh my god, damn.
You'll never see them armed.
This is freaking me out a little.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They're fully gunned. Got them on the back too.
Holy cow.
Oh shit.
Why are they at a truck stop? Like there's more people on the ground.
He's armed dead.
For God's sakes. Oh my gosh. Holy cow.
That's weird.
Should we be worried or doing something I don't know what to do?
I don't know. You never see them. You never see them in cowboys armed. Ever.
Holy smokes. Sitting here looking at my phone. Oh my goodness.
So there we go. A couple of videos. An armed military convoy moving through a truck stop in Texas, we presume ahead of potential violence on the 16th and 17th, leading up to the inauguration on the 20th, and a definition of Antifa. maybe as close as we get to hearing from someone who actually has been involved. And we'll take it for now. We've learned a little something from that video, and whether they are involved in the 16th and 17th, that remains to be seen. Now, I was also informed that I was wrong about Antifa in saying that they were not prepared. They wouldn't be prepared to stand up against militia. And it was pointed out to me that Antifa actually were armed with assault rifles and with steel shields protecting voter rights at one point. So we'll see how things play out as we make our way towards the weekend, the countdown underway towards Saturday the 16th and Sunday the 17th, when there have been calls for violence, for taking over government buildings, for destruction, this coming Saturday and Sunday in all 50 states and in the nation's capital. Now, I have also been informed that the nation's capital, they've added 5,000 more troops for Sunday's lead up to the inauguration. So there should be 20,000 troops in the United States Capitol to protect it from any potential incursion on Saturday or Sunday. Will that be enough? Not if it's a serious effort. We are in incredibly dark times. We really are, as a country, even as a world. And we all need to try to be a light. So thank you for watching. Try to be a light. I wish you nothing but blessings and peace and love. Stay alive. It's the American Doofus Show. I'll be back. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. Don't be a doofus.